So, on behalf of the South African Transactional Analysis Association, we welcome Elena Soboleva, our presenter from St. Petersburg, Russia, and all of you to our first webinar for 2018. It's wonderful to have you. I'll start introducing myself, and then if you'd like to, you can say a little bit about where you are and how you came to TA and what interests you about this, how you may use it in your work. I'm the vice chair of our local association, and I came to transactional analysis in about 2001 when I was a flying instructor in the South African Air Force. And then my coaching and personal development journey really led me to using it in quite a focused way in my own life, as well as with my coaching clients. And I find it a very effective tool to help people understand themselves and how they engage with other people, and to bring about change in their lives. And I'm from Cape Town. Sorry, I forgot to mention that bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who's next?
Okay. So I'll go next. I'm Michelle. Hello. I'm from Johannesburg. And I came to TA through Karen. I did the coaching development course through her. And then from there on, she introduced TA to me, and I did the introductory, that word, and I absolutely loved it. So yes, that's just where it all started. I really like the journey. I believe as a counselor and a coach that you first have to do the work yourself. So you first have to grow in yourself, and then you can carry that over to your clients, and it's just more meaningful and deeper for me. And this is like the whole package, because with the webinars and the sessions that we have, that's the opportunity where you can really work with it and go deeper with it, and then going from that, carry it over to your clients. So it gets me very excited, and I think I can just go on and on about it. But yes, in a nutshell, that's where I heard from it and why I love it.
Thank you, Michelle, and nice to have you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. I'll go, I think. Yeah, my name is Layo. I'm also involved in the South African Transactional Analysis Association. I'm the treasurer there. I met TA in 2008 or 9, something like that time. And that was just after I'd moved to South Africa. I'm half Nigerian and half German, so a lot of intercultural stuff going on there in me. I'm a management consultant. I started my own consultancy in South Africa at that time when I moved over here, doing very much intercultural work, diversity work, but also, yeah, around the more, what do you call it? The technical organizational side of things. So I came from a bigger consultancy in Germany and really saw myself as a consultant, and realized that the more I'm bringing in this work across cultures, the more I actually need to learn about people and myself as a person. And that's when I did my first coaching course, and through that met people, and through the people met TA. And that has really influenced me hugely. So the focus of my work, or the center, has turned more and more into the coaching side. I'm still a consultant as well, but kind of everything that I do is actually more coaching now. So there's been quite a shift in those past 10 years that I've been here, which has been really good and healthy for me, I think, and good for my work too.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Layo.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, like you heard.
Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm Elena, or Lena, from St. Petersburg, and I'm psychologist, and I'm TSTA in psychotherapy field of application.
And I have a long story to be in TA, and I suppose person who is really might to connect all of us. This is Karen, because I was in the same group for preparation to TSTA with Karen and with Trudy Newton. That's why I suppose I'm here. This is one reason, I mean. I'm really, really like TA. And, in my professional history, I was excited to meet TA and to know how it's, powerful, and there are lots of models, and I'm still curious whether it's possible to combine TA with different, approaches. And I'm going to show you how I use TA and to combine this with, focusing approach. I think it's very powerful, yes, and because some models of TA much more connect with cognitive behavioral approach, but also it's very interesting to know how we start to create our, script decision from unconscious level. So I think I will present you subject. This is part of our script, I suppose, how we manage with our time. As you know, procrastination, this is a big problem for whole people around the world, lots of people around the world. And I think this subject will be interesting for you. And, as I've said to you before, the weather is quite cold. It's minus 11, I suppose, degrees. Yeah, it's not very cold for us, but it's cold enough for you, I suppose.
Very cold.
But, outside, spring is coming very slowly, but it's coming, and I have lots of signals that this is quite close to St. Petersburg. And perhaps St. Petersburg, this is a absolutely incredible city, with big history and really, really wonderful to be and to visit. Yeah, welcome to St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, I can't show you our palaces and lots of interesting things to visit, but you can find it on internet by Google.
Thank you, Lena.
Welcome.
So, how would you like to start?
Okay, I think if you are ready, we will start. And if somebody will join us, it's okay for me. And what about you? Are you comfortable if somebody occasionally join us?
Yes.
Right. Okay, I have prepared PowerPoint presentation, and time to time I will show some content of this. I prepared it in English, but the last exercise is in Russian. But I have agreement with Alex, and I will do something around the last exercise, and I can send this PowerPoint presentation. Would you like to get it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So now I know how to share my screen, and I'll do this also time to time because I would like to make connection with you. And before, as you know, contract, this is the main tool in TA, that's why we will do some contract in order to create our own environment and to feel comfortable. And I'm not sure whether Michelle with us, perhaps she's frozen. Yes, I hope so. And I'm prepared to such things because I have already doing my own course, online course, 202 online course. That's why people sometimes go out and then get back. That's why perhaps something will happens with me, but please stay and do what you will do, and Alex will be with you, so he will be as a garant of stability. And all of us can be this garant, or give this guarantee, because at least one person will stay. It's okay, and let's get back if we suddenly go out. This is the one contract. Okay, and don't worry, I will be back definitely. Another contract I would like to offer you, if you will have some question or some comments, please be free, ask me and talk to each other and to me as well. I suppose this is a small community, and even we will be more people, we will have more people, we can do it fluently. And for me it's very nice when people talk to each other and to ask some questions or make some comments or observation. It's okay for me.
Thank you.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Right. And if you will have some problem with my English, please let me know. I will try to say it in a different way. Or maybe I will use my Russian and you can understand it.
We'll try.
Why not try? At least try. Make some attempt.
Okay.
Okay, great. Deal. Okay. And I'm still a little bit worried about Michelle. Michelle, are you with us?
I am. Sorry about that.
No problem. Time to time, your picture looks like frozen. That's why I'm just check out with you. It's okay with me if you keep silent. It's totally okay. But not all webinar, please.
No, sorry, we really struggle with our internet connections here. It's terrible. So sorry about
I know.
that.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really familiar with this. Believe me. Okay. So she can manage with these obstacles. That's why. Let's continue. So, now I'm going to share my presentation, right? Okay. It's not all about presentation, but it's okay. I'm just the subject is time, our script or our scenario, and procrastination. This is my translation, and I would like to start with you. Oops, sorry. Okay, it's a little bit different, but anyway, it's some kind of my presentation, and I think I can move a little bit further. So let's start with small exercise.
Sorry, Lena.
Yes,
I just see that we are not seeing the whole slide of your presentation.
Right. Okay, I will.
And I think if you start the slideshow, it might fix it. There we go.
Okay.
For some reason, we can see it all now.
Okay, I understand you. Yes, I try to keep all of you on the screen and my PowerPoint at the same moment, but it doesn't work at all. I try to be a little bit foxy, but it does not work. Okay, let's start again once more. Okay. When you are thinking about time, what's going on in your head? Just make your own connection with this and think about this a little bit. And if you will pay attention to your own body also, you can pick up some signals and put it on the paper. I'm not sure you have it, but maybe you find some list of paper and will do your own observation or your comments. And let me know if you're ready. Just 1 minute and be, open to what's come up to your mind. Even some thoughts or some signals might be strange. And when you are ready, get back to me. Let me know.
I'm ready.
Right. Would you like to be first?
I'm also ready.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So in my thinking, I notice all the tasks that I have to do today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week, and maybe even next week, all going through my head at the same time. And it feels a bit overwhelming. And then I notice in my body feeling stiff in my arms and pressing my tongue up against the back of my mouth. And maybe some like a feeling of dissociation a bit.
Oh, okay. And it's really good that you have noticed it and put some signals on the paper. Perhaps you will use it later on. Yes, and I hope you get back from your, traveling inside your body. Right. And it's also our agreement. Let's make this agreement. If somebody will feel something uncomfortable, just let me know, please.
Okay, so can I go next?
Yes, please, Michelle.
Okay, so for me, when you said time, the first thing that came into my mind was not enough, those two words. And then with those two words came the feeling of feeling rushed. I became anxious. My heart started beating. My legs and my arms almost went to that tingly, numb feeling. Yes, so, and then also the next word that came into my mind was time is precious, and that we have to use it wisely. So yes, so for me is there's not enough. It's precious and let's use it wisely, but definitely feelings of extreme anxiousness coming in. And then also it's from the space that I'm in at the moment, because I've got so much going on and deadlines. So it's definitely also coming from that space.
Yeah. Okay, Michelle, thank you very much. You share your signals and your meaning of the time, you know. It's very, very powerful what you said, you know, and looks like it's really big pressure for you when you're thinking so wisely about your time, you know, and very looks like it's very meaningful for you, very valuable. Time is very valuable.
It's interesting because very similar thoughts came up for me, more in the form of questions. So when you said time, the first thing that came up for me was, do I have enough? So yeah, an uncertainty around, is there enough or not? I know theoretically, yes, there's enough for what is relevant and what is supposed to be, but it feels like it's very much up here. And like the rest of me, have difficulty accepting that. So there's that question that's hovering. And listening out for my body signals, I noticed that when I think about time, my breathing went quite shallow, and it was difficult to breathe in. So I have to remind myself to breathe in and actually keep breathing. So yeah, it feels like there's also some anxiety around there and being unsure about time. And sort of the final question that is hanging with me is how to just flow with time, which is what I actually aim for.
How you switch from your body language to your thinking, you know, and make your own meaning of this. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so lots of things is connected with our decision, with our script beliefs, with our ideas, you know, which came out from our childhood and from our own experience. Yeah, and we will explore a little bit how our script beliefs connect with time management and what we can improve in this matter. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Are you ready, all of you? Are you ready to move from your script, part of your script, to some discussion in a more meta level? What does it mean, time, and why people start to count time? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, when we are talking about time, you know, we start to think why we count our time, you know, because why we need to do this, and what kind of association we have about time. And first of all, I would like to say that for me, time is associated with movement. So because we need to do some movement, we need to count our time, yes? And also time, this is a measure, the length of existent something. So if we have some events, we need to count how many time and how much we need to get something from A to B, for example, yes? And definitely it's difficult to think, but could you imagine if we don't count our time, for example, what has happened with us?
Lena, I can only see
Okay,
part
the
of your
same
slide.
things. Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
understand. No, sorry, I need to learn.
There we go. I can see the whole thing now.
Okay. So this is a picture of my explanation. And just imagine that it's not necessary to count the time. What might to happen with us?
Very hard to imagine that.
Sorry?
It's very difficult to imagine that.
Yes, I agree with you. It's very difficult to imagine, even to me. Yes, it looks like we have not any stops, we have to move anytime, for me. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, there's two quite opposite
Okay.
feelings coming through. The one is if we don't count time, then imagine the absolute freedom we
Right.
will have. So
Yeah.
freedom was the one thing, taking away some of that anxiety. And then in the same thought, it went over to it would be chaos if we don't count time. So yeah, it's that part of giving over and being free to pulling back to that, no, we have to count time. We can't just let it be. So quite opposites.
Yeah. No wonder, Michelle. Yes, I remember that you've said time is pressure. That's why I think it's better to have no limits at all. In some way,
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Thank you very much for your sharing.
I'm also thinking how subjective time is, and that context makes the experience of time different. So things that I enjoy doing seem to happen quickly, and maybe tasks that aren't so pleasant may seem to take such a long time.
Yes.
Thank you. And have a look. All of you, let us know your beliefs, how you can achieve something, how you will do this, and what kind of feelings and what kind of sensation you will have while you will do this, and that's interesting because, all our achievement connected as well, whether we achieve some goals or not, and also it connects with some kind of, things which get from our culture, from our parents, from our, environment. It's also connect with our ideas, how we can use our time, and what kind of meaning we are making or we are doing towards the time. For example, in Russia, we have lots of slogans or mottos about time. For example, to each vegetable his time. Do you have the same thing in your language or in your culture?
So it's interesting that the first thing that came up for me is something that I actually never say, but it must be coming from somewhere, and that is time is money.
Yeah.
Something that people say in Germany quite a lot. And it must have a place in me because it's the very first slogan that came up for me when you asked.
Okay. So
I'm very interested in the Russian saying to each vegetable his time. I'd like you to explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it depends. it depends how we interpret this, but it could be like we have to do it on time, or it means that we can wait for something because it's not time to do this. You know, it depends of our interpretation. It's again, we will get back to the first exercise when you were talking about your sensation and about your meaning, about time. You know, it was more personal. But now we are talking what we can get from our culture, from our parents. Sometimes our parents might to say, let's do it quickly, or come on, or something like this. And in Russian, for example, it could be like, быстрей, 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 hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. That's it, you know. So, and all these things we can take inside and we put in our body, and you know, also we will put in our feelings, and some of this we put in our cognition or our meaning, and all this stuff living inside of us. And when we have to do something, we definitely might to be in a contact with such feelings like you have described before, you know. And no wonder if some of us can stop to yourself to do something, or hurry up to do something, you know. It depends of our meaning, and it depends of our ideas about time and our feeling about our achievement. And also, it's very interesting, as I remember, Laia, you said, am I right to pronounce?
Yes.
My pronunciation? Okay, okay. And also we are talking, when we are talking about time, we are talking about value, because all of us made some decision about how we can value time. And Rosa Krauss, perhaps you know her name, Rosa Krauss, yes. She is person from organizational field of application, and she has written lots of very, very interesting articles, and she was, forgot the English word, she got she was granted of Eric Bern Award. She was awarded of this, and her articles is very famous. And she has written about time, and she connected with life position. She said, time has a price. For example, it is a valuable resource for fulfilling our goals. And it looks very nice, yeah, and sounds very nice, because when we have such beliefs like this and value our time, it means that we are in a specific position, you know. And another things is, she has mentioned, time is strength. It can be used to pressure in our relationship. And time is the lock of power. It can be spent to indulge something and wait for improvement, you know. And also time does not make sense and price. It should not be noticed, and you can use it just for dreams, you know. And if you, I'll show you this. Wait a moment. Okay. Alex, I'll do this again. And I'll move my PowerPoint. Look at this. And do you know about OK Corral?
Yes.
Yes. You can put it on this, because I just use this as a sentence, but you can put it in OK Corral. Right. And finally, I would like to get back to Eric Byrne. She also has written something about time. Maybe somebody of you remember what he has written about time. If not, I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
All I'm remembering is time structuring model.
Yes, you're right. Definitely. Yes, time structuring model. And also, perhaps you know this book, What Do You Say After You Say Hello? Yes. And this book, he has written about time, and he has mentioned two things. He said, for example, we can divide time for two parts like this. Например, for example, action must be completed in this certain period of time, and he called it clock time. So, for example, train should arrive to the station at 5 o'clock. So, no doubt, yes, just we are waiting for train at this period of time, you know. Or so when we are going to reach something, we can mention specific time, period of time. Or another things could be like this. Action must be fully completed, no matter how much time it takes. And it means that Eric Byrne said that all of us, we have got some injunction around these issues, you know, and it depends how you use it. For example, if you start to do things, you might to put some limits. Okay, I will do something before 3 o'clock, for example, 3 p.m. And after this, I have to stop. That's it. Or some of them might thinking like this, okay, I have to complete my PowerPoint presentation, for example. I will do it whatever, you know, I need time. For example, I will do it whole night, but in the morning, I will complete it. Okay. Okay. So, again, if it's okay with you, think about yourself. Which kind of ideas come up to your mind? How you personally use your time? Are you people who is put some limits for yourself, or you try to complete time no matter how much time it takes for you? Okay. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah,
Me too.
I've just had an interesting one.
Yes.
So I started off thinking that sometimes I am very good at setting aside a deadline and completing a task, or starting and completing a task in a named amount of time. And sometimes I procrastinate, and wondering what the main differences are between when I do each. So one thought that crossed my mind is that when I have to complete a task for other people, I probably am better at managing my time. But when I'm completing a task for myself, I'm not so good at it. And then I was wondering if that's related to a please people driver.
Yeah, perhaps.
And I know I've got a strong be perfect driver. I think they're all related. All the drivers are related to pleasing other people. But I'd like to put some more thinking into it, because I can think of examples also where I have tasks to do for other people and I procrastinate a lot. Probably because it's a task that I don't want to do.
Why not?
Yeah.
Something goes not really good for you personally. Even it does not very difficult, task, but you might to have something like this, inside. Even in your brain, you understand, it's easy to do, but something like this. We'll get back to this. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, I've also had a few insights that, are quite interesting, I think. And that is that for me, it's very strongly related to control. So control and structure. I have a very high need for structure.
Okay.
And I like to structure my time, and I'm quite good at it, to say what am I doing when, and to give myself deadlines, also to voice those deadlines to others. This is when I'm going to be done with that, and that's how it all works. And there are some things that I can't fit into that structure, because not all of those, not all parts of getting towards that goal is in my control. Sometimes I need other people. Sometimes I need input, or it's somehow beyond my control, be it people or the environment or whatever else. And that can get very frustrating for me. And when I observe myself, I notice that those things I just park completely and kind of give up on doing them, because I'm not sure how to put them into my structure. So can I control it or can I not? And if I can't, then I just leave it by the side.
Yeah.
That's sort of a pattern that I'm just starting to notice.
Yeah. Oh, good for you. I'm very pleased you found out something for yourself, and I hope it will be useful in your future. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, to me, is I also, I know I'm very structured, and I need it, because that's just how I do things. Otherwise, it feels like I'm just all over the place. What I realized with this exercise is, I think it's good for me. It's good to be structured, because it makes me feel in control and, yes, organized. The bad thing to it is that I've also got to drive the be perfect. So I can do most of 90% of my daily task or life tasks. I can structure, and I can keep to that structure and follow it with ease. But I just realized it's the stuff that's really, really meaningful to me, and that's really big, that I struggle to get to, and then I procrastinate. I think that I get scared that will I be able to do it? Will it be good enough? And then all of those feelings will go into procrastination, and I will just shut down. And yes, but yeah, I just realized it's with the things in life that really that goes deep, that I tend to procrastinate in. And yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Yes, you're right. Most of our behavior depends of our thinking and of our feeling inside, and sometimes we can pick up something which goes on inside, and sometimes not. It goes so quick and out of our awareness. That's why we are just doing rather than just pull together all these sides. Okay. And Alex, it's also very interesting that you have mentioned, and all of you mentioned your drivers. And I'm also was thinking while I was doing this exercise for myself, and for me, it's much more connect with, I must to fulfill the goal. That's it, without any limits. And sometimes I might to try hard rather than to do things with limits. And I'm still learning how to put limits and don't be overloaded with something, what I'm doing. And to be curious and to be full of energy rather than to miss or to get out my energy, And for me, it's important to think about it and to pick up when I really try hard. And so it's much more connect with our, again, with our okayness, because as you know, driver, it's connect with our, okayness, but this is not our proper okayness. This is some conditional okayness. It's okay to have a good, to be curious and to be very enthusiastic to do something. It's okay to be, to have a really high standards. It's okay. It's okay to be structured and to put lots of limits. But if we can do it deliberately, but when we have to do it under the pressure, it's difficult. Yeah, it's really, I also know this and I'm familiar with these things. Yes, and what I'd like to add to our discussion, this is another idea, because Ben, he's also had mentioned that if we have permission and to do something or stop to do something, it means that we can, for example, we have to achieve our goal and on the time, at the same moment, we have to fulfill our task at the same moment. If it's possible to do any time, this is my question. I'm not sure it's possible to do. Just can imagine you have lots of ideas, you have big project, but you have to put limits, and fulfill it, all this task for the specific time. What we should to do in order to fulfill this injunction? Is it?
I guess you would have to prioritize. You would have to look what comes first, what comes next, in what order. do you want to do it? And some of it you might have to let fall off the table, I guess.
Yes, great idea. Yes, congratulate you. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, but if it's out of your awareness, you just to know you have to fulfill to specific time your very, very important task. What's the decision might to be there?
I agree with that. And just to add to that, sometimes we get this lists and lists of to-dos. And the first thing definitely is to prioritize and to see the thing that I want to add is sometimes we can delegate something. We don't have to do that. We can ask someone, can you do this? Or maybe sometimes we take on stuff that's not really ours even to do. And just to see, while prioritizing is also to do the exercise, is this really my task to do? Or can I delegate or whatever?
Yeah, very wise. Congratulate you too. Yes. And what do you think? What do you think? How it's possible to hurry up? How it might happen when people hurry up? What kind of decision they have made about, clock time and target time? I mean, target time, it means that I have to achieve my goal or task. It doesn't matter how much time it takes for me, and also I have to fulfill my task, and I have to achieve my task, and at the same moment I have some limits with time,
I was thinking of roles and responsibilities and the drama triangle and how we might feel pressured into taking on roles and responsibilities that are not ours, and how that impacts how we use time or how we think about time.
That's great.
And even have maybe an internal game going on. So maybe persecuting ourselves. We don't necessarily need someone else to be doing that to us in order to not work with time authentically.
It's really good when you can, to be so wise and to think rational. But sometimes we are quite unrational inside ourselves. We start to hurry up or to persecute ourselves inside. Even we understand it's not necessary to do. Nothing has happened in the future. Even I stopped a little bit and to give myself some rest and, for example, stop in the evening and I will start in the morning with more energy and fresh thinking and so on, but sometimes it's difficult to stop. Who have the same sorts of things like me, for example. Sometimes I really have it. Do you?
Yeah, definitely. So that when you start hurrying up, it can actually slow you down because you're not really looking as to what is the next step and what needs to happen first and what comes then, or you start doing things all over the place and they're not really getting you towards your goal fast.
I think as soon as we do the hurry up thing, then we lose quality. And then we come dissatisfaction, that feeling of not being satisfied. So every time when I hear the words hurry up, it's like you lose quality. So it's more about staying in the moment, learning to stay in the moment while we hurry up, because there's a limit to time. But we can't escape that, but maybe to try and stay in that moment of.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. Yes, yes, and look at this. Yes, it's difficult. Definitely, this picture which shows our discussion, you know, which illuminated our discussion. Yes, sometimes we try to be hurry up, and sometimes we procrastinate it because, you know, something goes inside when we are not in a present centered. Yes, and when we go to our own scenario and our own script decision. Yes. And also it depends of our, you know, how we can get our strokes, and also it's connect with our decision which kind of strokes we prefer. Because some people try to tend to get positive strokes, and some people try to avoid negative strokes. You know, it depends of our, again, it depends of our decisions. And also I would like to ask you to think, also small exercise, to think, for example, if you are going to organize club for procrastinated people, what kind of motto could be to the fun of this club?
So what was the question? What kind of motto?
Okay.
I don't understand the question.
Okay. Four of you going to organize club, and this club will be for people who are procrastinated lots of time. Which kind of motto or, you know, some slogan could be useful for this club?
Just do it.
Okay. No, you are going to procrastinate. This is a club for people who are procrastinated anytime. This is like your mission, but I think it's much more about their value, because they are thinking procrastination, this is a good, in some way, good things, because it's difficult. Don't do this. You know, and okay, I just try to okay, I just try to make some joke, but it doesn't work at all. I'll show you what I have found on internet. And actually, I like it very, very much. Okay, procrastinators, let's come together tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and when we are talking about procrastination, we also can think about our own rhythm, you know, because rhythm, this is very important for us. When we are baby, rhythm, this is something which very important for us, because it gives us some meaning that all things is all right, you know. When we are listening to beating of mother's head, you know, it's really useful for baby, you know. If this rhythm is very good for us, you know, very suit for us, we feel we are in a safe place. And the same, if you can get back to your body, you can perhaps you remember how was your heart beating when you were thinking about time, just about word. Nothing has happened with you, but you were just thinking about time, and lots of signals from your body come up to your mind, and this is important for us to feel yourself in your own rhythm, because some people who is we might to think they are hurry up people, but it's not this. It's not true, because this reason really good for them, But if you break your own rhythm, it means that you are in a hurry up. Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes. Does it make sense? But some people, you can listen to their speech. It's very quick, but it's okay for this person. But it's not okay for you. And I'm thinking it's important to us to be in our own rhythm. When we are in this rhythm, we are healthy. We are good enough for ourselves. And if we are stopped to do this, it means that something wrong with us, And if we are, again, we get back to procrastination, we can to think why, what's the reason we are stopped to do things and try to procrastinate and to stop to do this and to break out our own rhythm. Mostly it might to happens because something goes inside and we get tangling, or we might to feel that something happens wrong with us, or we can't to reach our result, or we can't to think all details or predict all, all things which might to happen with us. There are lots of, cause why we stop to do things. But what is clear for me, and I suppose for you as well, that when we stop to do our things in our own rhythm, we might be feel something inside, like Alex said, like this, and we need to not to push ourselves, but to help ourselves to move to our goal, or to move to something what we are going to do, and we need some tool to do this. And I would like to offer you one idea which come up from approach which called focusing. And again, I would like to offer you exercise. Is it okay for you to do some exercise again?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Again, if you don't like something inside of this exercise, just stop it and let me know. Okay. Okay. Now I suggest to think about one things which you procrastinate and feel yourself stuck. Do you have this, or you are so wise and you are doing everything, you know, without this, such kind of things?
I have something.
Right, okay. Just keep it inside. And is it okay for you? Just imagine what you are going to do. Yes? That in your brain, you know, just like you are going to do this, and feel your body again. And if you will get some signal, just be patient to yourself and just observe it. Perhaps you will find something like some kind of stopping. And if you picked up some location on your body, just observe it and feel whatever you're feeling inside, and look at this without any judgment. And when you are ready, let me know what you have noticed. Okay, ready? Right. And afterwards, also switch your observation to another part or parts of your body which have not the same sensation. Do you have it? Right. Huh. Okay, now you have at least two parts, and one part try to say you stop, do this, or, you know, it means procrastinate. And another part doesn't feel such sensation like another one. Right. And please say to part which felt some sensation, just say, hello, I see you. And then use the language like this. Something in me feel like this. And I sense it and observe it and understand it. Yes, be patient and non-judgmental. Oh, sorry. Without any judgment. Mm-hmm. And pay your interest towards this part which is stopped you and ask this part why she is doing this. And perhaps this part tries to warn yourself or to say yourself something. Maybe this part say some warning to you. And when you get some answer, again, say something very pleasant like, thank you very much, you're warning me. And then get back to this part, which is stay without this tension or, Okay, and also I suggest to find another part of you which observe this process. And again, when you found out this part which observe two parts, pay attention to your body. How do you feel when you found out this part? And when you are ready, get back. And I also was doing this exercise by myself now, and I also going to share my experience with you as well. Okay. Ready? Right. Who is going to be next or first?
I'm happy to go first.
Okay, thank you.
So I thought of a task that I know I procrastinate on, and the feeling that I experienced is in two parts of my body. The one is in the pit of my stomach, and the other one is up here. And I'm going to continue to do the exercise after this webinar, because I'm not sure that I've found the part of my body that doesn't have that feeling, but it might have been my chest.
Okay.
And I found it very useful to hear the concern or the warning that the feeling was giving me. And makes sense to me because it's something that I know about myself, but I've not really connected that message with a feeling before. So that was really useful. And it was also interesting to locate the part of my body that was aware of or that could observe my experience. So it felt like I had increased awareness of myself from this exercise, but I also felt quite relieved. Yeah.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, like this is something that I can use if I have the experience of procrastination again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, the thinking part of me is very curious as to the theory behind
Okay.
designing the exercise. Yeah.
Right. I'll let you know my ideas because, those approach, they have not any much experience, theory, much more about, experience rather than about theory. But I'll let you know my ideas using TA terms.
Thank you. Lovely exercise.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I also noticed two parts of myself that were the warning parts. So that was sort of heart, definitely felt my heartbeat, and clammy hands. So my heart and my hands were not wanting to go there.
Yes, not wanting.
And my head was observing. So that was the observing part.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that you said locate a part of your body that doesn't feel these, the warning signals. Because at first I thought, well, isn't it everywhere? But then I noticed it's actually not everywhere.
Great.
It's like my legs were quite neutral.
Yeah.
It was interesting. That, oh, what's that there? It's like they were sort of in a neutral waiting position. So like there's no, as if there was no preference in them to go or to stop.
Yes.
And I'm not quite sure what to do with all of this. So it was interesting to look at, but now I'm sitting with, well, what does it mean?
All right. Okay. Is it a question or you have some answer?
I think it's a question.
Okay, it's a question. Okay. Okay. Have you found your part which observes two of those?
Yeah, that was the head.
Right.
It observed those different parts.
Yes, and compared to your body, how? Pardon?
My head was observing those different parts, and they weren't actually in conflict with each other. They were just very different in their reaction.
Absolutely. That's it. And you can observe one part and another part, and when you're staying and feel yourself in present in this observing part, so perhaps you have different signals from your body when you're in this part rather than in the procrastination part.
Yes.
Do you feel the difference?
Yes, it's sort of as if when I'm just observing, the reaction gets less. So the reaction to the thought of, do I now do this or not?
Yeah.
The signals become less. So everything calms down a bit when
Comes
the
down.
observing is switched off.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, thank you very much for your explanation. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay.
My warning was thinking about the thing that I procrastinate in. It actually made me a bit nauseous, and I could instantly feel this headache coming on. I also noticed that with all of these feelings came drain. It just drains my energy, making me frustrated. Then when you said to acknowledge and observe it, there's something in me. By doing that, because usually I fight procrastination, I can become very frustrated with it. But by acknowledging it and observing it, I actually felt a sense of relief, not to fight it. And it was this release. And then because I don't have to own it, I can feel it, but I don't have to own that feeling. So by letting that go, I felt the energy coming back. And then the sign was more lightness, and I can't put an area on my body. It was just my whole body feeling lighter and more energetic. But definitely an exercise that I also want to continue on and work with. Yeah, very interesting. For me, it was to acknowledge it, but not to own it. Made a difference for me.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, that's great. You have mentioned for me, clues are like acknowledge, not without any judgment,
Yes.
and also to own this. Yes, and if we will, are you ready to move further with bit of theory?
Yes.
Right. Okay. If we are thinking about, for example, contamination, which kind of contamination goes up to your mind when during this, exercise? I have to procrastinate. I have to do something, or must to do something on time, or fulfill my task, or without any stops, or I have to do something absolutely perfect without any mistakes. Yeah. Or let me know what is your thinking about. And again, when we are talking something in me, it means it's not all of me, it's just part of me, and I can find some resource inside, as my integrating adult, if you are familiar with this model. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Yeah. So and my idea is the same. I can change something just here and now, rather than in my past. I can be present centered, and I can observe, and I can make my decision. I can find my resourceful part of me, and guess what does it mean when you found out this part which can observe? How can we call this part? Which observe a part which procrastinated and acknowledge this part, and also part which can found out part without any tension, without any troubles, without any
I'm thinking of the mindful adult
yeah, absolutely.
model, where we can notice our experience and our the messages that we have to, or think we have to comply with, but we don't have to be subject to them.
Yeah.
We can just notice them taking place. But
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your first question about the contamination.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was thinking that it could be child contamination of adult,
Yeah.
because the procrastination may be linked to our identity,
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
and also to compliance.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I'm also thinking, does that mean that the parent contamination of adult is excluded? And
Perhaps.
do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Because no proper theory, as I've said to you before, it's just explanation how to do this, lots of ideas, how it's important to make connection, not judge. Same in English, not
Judgmental.
Judgmental. Sorry. Okay, I'm still learning. Okay. So it's important when you are talking with children, for example, or with baby, you are not judgmental. You are just asking, what's going on? Let me know. And it means you acknowledge this baby or child which can connect with you or talk or say something to you, you know. Or, for example, if baby is just small, you know, baby can't speak with you, but something goes on inside with in his or her body. It means it's also like rhythm, you know. That's why I also think when we in our, for example, when I'm crying, for example, I'm baby, I'm crying, I'm doing like this, you know, and it's quite different when I'm really relaxed as a baby, for example. I'm staying like this, I'm feeling comfortable, and my breathing is really, how to say it in English?
Measured.
Yeah, measured, yes, yes. And very calm, you know, and I feel myself really good enough. So I think for me, rhythm, my own rhythm of my breathing, of beating of my heart, and so on, you know, it's much more connected with my own identity when I'm a baby, you know, and it's much more hurry up, connect with, don't be you, you know, when I'm hurry up, it connects with my decision. I couldn't be myself. It means that I could not get my own time. I could not get my own rhythm. I could not, and so on, you know. That's why for me, this is my first meaning. How can I identify myself without any words, without any understanding, proper understanding, I mean. Does it make sense? It's just, you know, my thinking. It's not like proper theory, just my own thinking. I'm just share with you. That's why I'm really, really interested to know what is your meaning about and what do you think about this?
So I'm thinking that there's a sense of identity which is involved in my own procrastination, about my worth, about being good enough, about getting things right. But those messages also come from my internal parent.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if it's a double contamination.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Because we are orientated to our parents, and we try to get strokes, you know, and also our parents is not real. Sometimes it's not in a real adult, you know. Sometimes they are in their P3 or P4 or and so on, you know, or sometimes they are in their child, you know, but we couldn't know about this, you know. We just get our father and mother as adult people, but they might be not in real adult. They might be regressed without our understanding, because we are just small. Okay, ladies, what is your thinking about?
A lot to think about. It feels like it's sort of I'm processing, and the processing isn't done. It might continue after this. But I definitely agree with the thought of the double contamination. There's something coming into the adult from the parent, and there's something coming from the child, and it feels a bit muddled right now. There's still processing to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I sort of agree on the whole thing. I also agree with the double contamination, definitely. Yes, it's definitely a thought growing at the moment.
That's great. Yes, and it's okay to disagree with me, and also think about confusion. Sometimes we feel we have lots of feelings inside, and it's much more connect with our sensation, and we can understand our sensation more or less, but sometimes we out of awareness about our feelings, you know. That's why some of you mentioned tensions, or personally me, I also felt lots of tensions when I was thinking about my stuckness, you know. So it means that as I understand myself, I felt I was scared inside. I wasn't scared outside, but inside it's a different again. And for me, it's really helpful when I, even during this exercise, staying with you, I can observe and acknowledge all those parts which were scared, and some of them were angry. And also for me, it was very important to find this part which was out of this sensation. And for me, it means that it's not all of me, it's just part of me. So I can manage with it. Rather, I'm overload of my sensation and my feelings. It means that I'm this, fear, but it's not me. It's just part of me. It's for me, it's like confusion goes on inside of my mind sometimes when I am scared in present, but I have no idea, no reason to be scared. It's a different. We how to say it? It might happen very often when we are going inside ourselves to our past and then get back to our present, or maybe in our future. But our being in present might be very short, but mostly in our past and in our future, but not in the present. We are thinking what will be, what might happen with us, for example, day after today, or 2 days after today, and so on, oh, it's so scary to do, for example, a webinar for people who is living in South Africa, and it's very difficult for me to speak in English. My English is not really good, and so on and so on, and I'm definitely out of you. Disconnect with you real, because you're very good people for me, and it's really nice for me to work with you. And even I forgot some word, you just simply prompt me, and it's okay for me as well. For me it's no problem at all, for me as adult Lena. But for small Lena, it's big problem. It's still big problem. But when I acknowledge this part, it's okay. Don't worry, Lena. I can manage. Not you. I can manage with it. Yeah. Okay, it's big relief for me. Yeah, even I'm still, so time to time, I'm still going inside, up and down, up and down. Definitely. 3 circles is just representation of our identity in some way, but it's not me. It's just picture. It's not me. Okay. How do you feel? What do you think?
Good, thank you. I want to say thank you for your authentic sharing, and yeah, I think it's teaching us a lot. Well, definitely teaching me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. I like to share my ideas and my sensation and my understanding now, because now I'm, I'm strong enough in some way. But before it was difficult for me. Okay.
Yeah, I really appreciated your sharing, and notice that when we have a fear of something, we're focused on the undesired experience and on negative things.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And it's almost like a mode that
Yes.
we don't see possibility and what good can happen.
Yes, Alex, you're right. It looks like we have not any resources.
Yeah.
Like, it's also really good resource for us to understand. Yes, we have had such experience, bad experience like this, but it's not really true here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going into a spiral. Yes, and it's so funny. I just thought of something. Procrastination is we're not doing anything, and it is a stop. But now I'm wondering, procrastination is like a spiral, but it's a spiral of negativity, and it drains us, and it doesn't get us to a healthy spot. So with procrastination, isn't it then good to say, okay, stop? Because we have to stop somewhere to stop that spiral.
Yeah.
So stop within the stop, if it makes any sense.
Great. Yes.
This came to me, but yes, procrastination is not doing anything, but we also have to put a stop to that spiral, because only when we stop it, we can move to a different mindset, and then from there see the possibilities, or that's what you said, just do it. Alex, maybe we have to stop first to come to a point to just do it. I don't know, it just
Yes.
I'm just wondering about that. Maybe with procrastination, it is we have to stop.
Yes, we have to stop this spiral. It's so powerful for me, picture or image, you know. Yes, we have to stop yourselves, to stop spiral, and also to think. Yeah. What kind of warning I get from this part? Is it true? And thanks. And acknowledge this part, because it's still doing what we don't need to get. You know, it still try to give us some kind of, you know, suggestion, like stop it, because if you will move further on, it means something might happen with you, awful or something like this, but it's not really true. But I mean, the warning and some support is really kind of this part. It's a little bit naive, maybe, or maybe, like, you know, it's like fairy tale. In fairy tale, all animals very scaring, but it's not really, you know, it's not real. It's just, you know, when you look at, perhaps you can have a picture of tiger, for example, on your wall. It might be very, very, you know, natural, and you might be very scared. Look at this picture, but it's just picture, very natural, good enough, perfect, but it's just picture, it's just paper. It's not real tiger.
And at the same time, I think maybe just acknowledging those warnings and checking whether they're real is also what we need to do. So because we kept talking about these warning signals, so maybe sometimes it is real. Maybe sometimes we're trying to push ourselves to do something that is actually not right for us. Or like Alex said earlier, sometimes we're sort of pressured into taking on responsibilities and tasks that are not really ours. And maybe that's where the procrastination comes in, because you feel that, okay, I have to do this now, but something inside of me is stopping me. So perhaps the saying stop could also be saying stop to that decision. So not saying I'm going to do it tomorrow or next week or next month or something, but just to say I'm not going to do it.
Absolutely. Great. Well done. Yes, it just, you have to stop yourself and just to think whether I have to do this. Maybe not. Maybe bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah. What a relief.
Oh, yeah, such relief. Yeah. Good relief. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it just, again, to find another part which can observe without this anxious, without any scaring, you know, just observe and acknowledge. Thank you very much. It's like, you know, again, if you are a driver, I am not, you know, but you look at the signals on the green, you know, yellow and red, you know, and you have decided when you push your, you know, push gas in your car, you know, but it's, even you have, you know, some help from your car, automatic regime, you know, but anyway, you are thinking about it. It's not just only in automatic, you know, way. That's it. Yeah. Which we have inside, all of this might be helpful, but it depends of you when you will take it, and which kind of meaning you create around these signals. You know, it's again about shift theory, because if you remember this matrix of discounting, the first line is this is a signal, yeah, and afterwards we have to make some significant, to make some meaning about this signal. So to take this signal serious and to make some signal. For example, I feel myself hot. I can acknowledge this and think, is it, I have lots of, stuff on myself, or maybe I have temperature, my temperature went up, I need to check it out and to clarify what does it mean, really, rather than just, to take off my, something, my suit or something like this, this is just me, to create some meaning rather than just use meaning of somebody else. Yeah. Okay. Are you full enough?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think? Is it time to make some end up and to share something at the end of this workshop?
Elena, thank you. My experience with the webinar is that it's given me lots of food for thought, and I'm interested in doing more thinking on the contaminations.
Right.
And I feel like I have a tool that I can use now in moments of procrastination that will help me become more conscious and aware. And I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I'm really taking away quite a lot of food for thought, and find it interesting to make that connection between procrastination and our script, not just in terms of some people procrastinate all the time and other people just get things done, but actually we procrastinate in different ways and at different times, and it depends on what is this thing that we think we need to do actually about, and how does it touch our inner being and that script that we come with. How's that all connected? So I think that's really very insightful for me. Thank you for bringing that and for sharing all that you shared. And I found our discussions really, really good. And the fact that it was just the four of us, so we could carry on in this group and without needing to split out and go away and come back in again. I think that gave the whole webinar a very nice flow, which I enjoyed.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you. And thank you, Leah. And also, I like your ideas, how you were thinking about script and connection. I totally agree. Our procrastination or any behavior could not be without our thinking and our feelings.
Yes, thank you. Also, a lot of food for thought, as you also already said. A lot of things that really stood out for me, and I would like to definitely think about this and do the exercises. The one thing that's interesting when you said is, it's not us, it's only a part of us. So it's not me. I don't have to put my identity in that. It's only a part of me. And then to acknowledge that part and sort of to let it go, to accept it. With acceptance, it's easier to move on and then to make that stop. And to get out of that spiral. But yes, I think that the thing that's really at this moment standing out is it's only a part of us. It's not us. And that's quite, it's like a relief. And oh, okay, I'm more than that. It's not that I'm not good enough. I'm more than that. Yeah. So yes, thank you. It was just a very valuable session for me. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm really enjoyed as well. You know, for me, it's really good pleasure to talk to you, and your thoughts and your ideas was very powerful for me as well. I'm still thinking about this subject, time, script, and also I've noticed and I found that it's very helpful for me also to know that even I'm scared or angry or something like this, you know, it's just part of me. It's not all of me. And I can divide myself. It's not like go to fragmentation, just to understand, yes, this is my past. I did something like this in a previous time, but now I can change my decision. Oh, it means that this is my potency. I can feel my potency here and now, and for me it's very important. Yeah, thank you. And I'll send you my PowerPoint in a few days. Yes, I've sent you it. I'm going to send it to Alex and he will share with you. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day and good weekend in the future. Yeah. And
Lena, thank you as well. I think if you'll also forgive my pronunciation, we say spasibo.
Да-да. Пожалуйста. Пожалуйста.
From everyone here, and we look forward to working with you again.
Yes, that's it. Okay. Okay, see you somewhere, somehow. Okay, enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye all.
Bye.